pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioners Office requesting this board to execute the minutes for the meeting of May 28th, 2008.
I'll make that motion. Second. Aye.
Aye.
Morning, Heidi.
Financials today include a cash transfer from the Emergency Management Fund to the Building Improvement Fund for facility improvements, travel request for the Juvenile Probate Court, payment to CT Consultants for system modeling and master planning for the Bainbridge Water System for the Department of Water Resources in the amount of $2,575.88.
I'll make that motion. Second. Aye. Aye. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh no! Yeah.
Okay, out of deference to the folks that are here today, we're going to make a shift in the schedule, make it a little easier on you. And so we're going to bring item 4 forward, Don.
Thank you. That'll help clear up some room here. Hi, how are
Well, we don't want to see anybody leave. You don't have to leave.
Well, some do. They want seats. I'd like to introduce, before we go into the questions here, I'd like to introduce 3 of our board members who are here as well. Mark Jackson, Commander Mark, Laura Jansen, and her daughter Faith, and Dr. Dennis Schmidt. So we have 3 board members here as well. And I want to thank everybody who's here. Obviously, when you're going to start a process for running for a levy, you want all the support you can get. So we're starting off strong and see this all the way through. So that's why we're here. Go ahead. I'll let you lead.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, we're here to ask that you allow us to proceed with our levy request. Our first step is to go to the auditor and actually certify the funds that a 1 mil levy would produce. Here for any questions. Go ahead.
This is our first levy request for new money since 2004. In 2004, they had new money that was supposed to last for 5 years. In 2008, we knew that we could stretch it out. We came to the voters and we asked for permission to make it a renewal, and we renewed it to continuous, and promised that we wouldn't come back until 2011. It is now 2015. We've been able to stretch what was going to be a 3-year promise into a much longer time period. But at this point, costs have caught up with us, and between cost and the increase, we are at the point where for the last 2 years we've been living off our savings. We need to garner new funds so that we can balance our budgets again and begin to operate in the new levy. So we're asking for a 1 mil. We are looking at a 5-year levy. A 1 mil will cost the taxpayers the equivalent of about $3 per month for $100,000 of house value. That will allow us at least run for another 5 years. We'll evaluate as we get close to that time. Our hope is that we can actually do better than that. But that's our picture for right now. We need to gut that out. And that's our hope. We can extend it even further at that time.
Well, I've got a bunch of questions for you.
Shoot.
Okay, you and I have been having an ongoing conversation, as you know. I would like to have deferred this decision for another session, so as you know. This is a complicated issue because it is a sizable increase in tax. And so the citizens in the county are going to be asking questions, why a 1 mil levy versus something else? And is there not something else that can be done to thwart the 1 mil levy, so on and so forth? Those are the questions that you're going to be asked. I've printed up all the material, I've been sifting through it. It's very complicated.
It is.
And so, and I will say, by the way, we respect and think highly of your organization, everything that you do, all the folks that are served, and so on and so forth. So these questions are not in any way to infer that we don't appreciate all the services that are being provided. I actually have a family member that's part of, in Wisconsin, that's part of these services, so I very much appreciate and understand the value of what's being provided. At the same token, we have to respect and value the taxpayer dollars and ask hard questions to ensure we're doing the right thing. So I've already asked a question. I'm still a little confused with some of the information that was sent in terms of the necessity for a 1 mil levy versus something else. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. A 1 mil levy will garner about $2.9 million. Last year we were running in the hole, our expenses exceeded our revenue by $2.4 million. You would ask about whether a half mil would do. A half mil would yield less than $1.5 million. That won't bring us back to being in the black. It would actually still have us running in the hole based on last year's expenditures. So we're looking at something that we can't just build on a levy for what we are even today. We have to build on asking for a levy that will help us travel beyond even today because expenses continue to increase. Levy dollars are flat. They don't increase. They are what they are when they are voted upon. The $9 million roughly that the 3.3 mil levy yields today is the same that it yielded back in 2014. It doesn't increase over time. Expenses always go up over time. And a good example is gasoline. Gasoline, when we passed our last levy, was $1.45 a gallon. We just can't avoid not having increases. You're all well aware of the insurance cost and how staff insurance costs go up. All of those things lead to a situation where a flat funding is never going to keep up. If you were going to come back and ask every year for another increase of 3%, 3%, 3%, you could do that, but that's not necessarily wise to be on the ballot every year. It's an expense every year that we have to put on the ballot. For us, running a levy is probably going to cost $35,000 or so a year. You guys are familiar with running campaigns. It costs money to run those. And you raise that every year in ways of fundraising. It takes a lot of work, as you're well aware. So we do it in a situation where we try to look at an increment of time. We're looking at a 5-year time frame here, so we're trying to not project just what we're even spending today. We're trying to project what we're going to be spending in about 2.5 years. We're really trying to make a break-even balance right around 2018. We will then, if we break even in 2018, we'll have built a savings, a reserve, that we will then live on from in 19 and 20 to make sure that we last out for that 5 years. If in 18, 19, we're looking at it and we're still balanced and running fine, we're not trying to waste taxpayer dollars. We do not spend taxpayer dollars that aren't needed. We try to meet the needs. One of the statements we make here is we try to meet our folks' needs, not their wants. There are a lot of things everybody wants, and we don't try to give everything they want. We try to meet the needs as they are. Our need has grown over the time. From 2003 until now, we've increased by almost 50% the number of people that we're serving. It's a little different in how we do things, but that's just how things change over time. We expect to see that, we hope to see that level off, but we can't promise that it'll level off. It may continue to grow. Right now, we're serving 859 people last year. Those folks all represent a need that needs to be met. Different levels of different needs. Some people need complete care, where they're here and then they need residential care all the way through. Others only need supports when they're still living at home, and we try to provide that so that they're able to stay with their parents and live in their parents' homes. We've done what I think is an admirable job of stretching out the taxpayer dollars. We are not trying to waste the taxpayer dollars. Stretching a 5-year levy into an 11-year levy is an example of that. Our staff at the same time, we've done cutting wherever we can. We've cut our staff by half from where we were in 2003. We had 350 employees in 2003, according to the auditor's CAFR report. Today, we're running around 157, 156. Whenever possible, we find ways to do things that are more efficient, still providing a good service, but doing it in such a way that we don't waste the taxpayers' dollars.
I disagree with my colleague. I believe that we should act on this today based on the fact that it's not up to me or him to make the final decision on this. It's up to the taxpayers. And all this is step one in a step of getting something finalized. We're going to vote on this you're gonna get a confirmation from the auditor of the amount of money that this will generate. Then ballot language will be constructed from that, and that will come back to us to vote on, to allow you to have the Board of Elections put it on the ballot. And then the third step will be taken to the voters, and they will either approve it or disapprove it. That's the way the system works. For any of us to sit here and make the decision that I don't like this, I'm going to kill it here, when you clearly have demonstrated and illustrated to us in print and verbally that the need is there, it just seems a little over the top for us to deny this. That's my say. So, as far as I'm concerned, I would say we read number 4 and we take a vote on it and we see where the people on this board stand.
So, well, to that point, my esteemed colleague and I disagree on this. Our fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayers of this county is to do what's reasonable and to ask the reasonable questions to ensure that your organization, which is a good organization, is doing the right thing, and if not, why are we here? Our purpose is to ensure that that we're asking questions so that the taxpayers are and taxes are safeguarded, so on and so forth. That's our job. If we're not up to that job, we shouldn't be at this table, from my perspective. And so we should be asking those hard questions. And so that's not to say that we should deny it or not deny it. It's a matter of asking questions to determine whether or not all this information is proper, that you're managing things properly, so on and so forth. That's our job, is to look at that kind of stuff. And so that's the reason we're asking these questions.
Well, you've had weeks to look at this material. Weeks. You've had plenty of time to ask questions. If you can't make the decision, you just said it. Maybe you shouldn't be here. I mean, we looked at it.
Have you looked at the material, Blake?
Yes.
Okay, and what have you determined from the material?
I determined that they need the funding.
Then you're entitled to do that.
Right.
Because I'm entitled to sit here and ask these kinds of questions.
Well, the problem is, you had time to ask them. Your lack of preparation doesn't constitute an emergency on everybody else's part.
I didn't say that it should, Blake.
Well, you don't want it on here.
I didn't know why you're all upset. I had asked, there's no burning bush to have this decided on today. We've got months before this needs to be decided on.
No, we don't.
We have time to think, yes, it's not necessary until August, and so we have months. And so this conversation is actually a fruitless conversation. Don, let me ask you another question. You had brought up, as in a past conversation you and I were having about this, the impact on the type of levy and the impact it might have on real estate taxes. Can you tell the crowd about that?
Yeah, a 1 mil levy garners, it costs $35 per $100,000 of house evaluation. So if you have a $200,000 house, you just double that. It's $35 a year per $100,000 of house evaluation. So if you have a $200,000 house, it's $70 a year. Which, when you divide that in a monthly figure, you're looking at $6 a month if it would be a $200,000 house. My recollection is that the average home in Geauga County, at least when I started here, was around $180,000. I'm not sure that what the 2010 census had as far as the value, but it was $180 when I started in 2006. So that'll give you an idea that it's between 35 and 70 for the average person in Geauga County. So between $3 and $6 a month is what we're looking for. That's the impact.
Well, but you had mentioned something about when you change the levy or the type of levy, then in fact there's a...
That has to do with the question of whether we would replace the existing levy, why we would touch the existing levy. In the last budget cycle, the state changed the rule as far as replacement levies. When you replace a levy now, what has been up until now 12.5% picked up by the homestead exemption, where the state has paid that portion. It's about $1.1 million, a little higher than $1.1 million that we get out of that homestead exemption. If we would replace our existing levy instead of going for a new levy, that $1.1 million would have to be picked up by the voters. The state would no longer pick that up. So while we might get a total of $300,000 additional, the voter would have to pay almost about $1.5 million in addition. It's not wise to do that. It makes the local voter pick up a bigger share. You wouldn't want to replace a levy at this point with the current language. The current language just doesn't work.
So the way that you've structured this levy going forward, that's not going to impact?
No, it's not.
So
We want the state to continue to pay the $1.1+ million that they're paying currently. We don't want to make the taxpayer have to pick up a bigger burden.
Very good. All right, that's all I have, the questions I have right now, so thanks.
The Board of Developmental Disabilities is requesting the board approve and execute resolution number 15-073 declaring it necessary to levy a tax in excess of the 10 mil limitation and requesting certification of the county auditor of the dollar amount generated at the request of the Geauga County Board of Developmental Disabilities Metzenbaum Center as authorized by ORC 5705.03.191.222.25 and .26.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Clickwell?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Seeing you. Take care. Thanks for coming. No, I didn't get it. Bye, Don. Take care.
Hey, Marcus.
Have a good day.
I'm going to try to help you. If I hand you this, can I take Jane?
I didn't realize it. I didn't know very well.
I'm sorry. I'm going to put it
Here, we'll go right away. Mercy, thank you so much for coming.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
All right, Jane, you ready? We're online.
You'll be okay.
Come on up. Let me help you.
Very good. Thanks, Captain.
Okay, Mac.
Yeah. Are they in the hall?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, do you want me to grab a box of... You got your story right off the bat.
I don't think they're here, because Joe has to see them.
Okay, let's go to final.
We'll go to number 5.
Yep. Okay. All right. Good, good.
I'm Ronnie Franklin.
Nice to meet you.
You're which for Joe?
Situation officer for Joe.
Oh, chief, okay, sorry. And you said chief information officer.
Oh.
We do.
I'm here today because we, the county sees a small grant that we applied for last year. We were unsure if it was going to be a continuing grant. Or just kind of provision that we'll see how it works next year.
I turn that thing on and see if it...
We were given notice and we'll be sending some copies of these that the grant, the smart grant will be increased by $43,000 for this fiscal year 2015. So we are here to approve that.
Common Police Court Adult Probation is requesting the board approve and execute the addendum to Community-Based Corrections Programs 407 Subsidy Grant Agreement for fiscal year 2015 for the period July 1st, 2014 through June 30th, 2015, for an increase in the amount of $43,000. For a fiscal year 2015 grant total in the amount of $132,521 with no local match.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Aye. Do you have a card with you?
Well, they do,
I
right?
apologize.
No, that's fine.
And then the next one, this is a renewal of our 3 grants that we received to run our intensive supervision, our pretrial services, and our pre-sentence investigation report writing. Those are not increased or decreased from last year, so same figures.
The Common Police Board Adult Probation is requesting the board approve and execute the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction Subsidy Grant Agreement for Community-Based Corrections Programs Non-Residential Misdemeanor Programs for fiscal year 2016 for the period July 1st, 2015 through June 30th, 2016 in the amount of $155,937. $62,402 for intensive supervision, $26,000 for pre-sentence investigation, and $27,535 for pretrial release with no local match.
Make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you. Nice meeting you.
Good luck.
How you doing, Kelly?
I'm here to ask for permission to advertise for public hearings 1 and 2 for our CDBG program. And the first public hearing, both public hearings will be on June 16th, one at 9:10 a.m. and one at 9:15 a.m.
The Office of Community and Economic Development is requesting the board grant permission to advertise to hold public hearing number 1 for the 2015 Community Development Block Grant CDBG Small Cities Program to be held on Tuesday, June 16, 2015 through 9:10 a.m. Notice of this public hearing will be advertised on June 4th, 2015 on the county website. The Office of Community and Economic Development is requesting the board grant permission to advertise to hold public hearing number 2 for the 2015 Community Development Block Grant CDBG Small Cities Program Formula Allocation Program to be held on Tuesday, June 16, 2015 at 9:15 a.m. Notice of this public hearing will be advertised on June 4th, 2015 on the county website.
I'll make those motions.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Okay. Hi, Karen.
Greetings.
Karen? You changed your look. Did you get your hair fixed differently or something?
Oh, you flatterer. Just got a diamond.
Looks nice. Looks nice.
Okay, this is just to hire a third shift person to replace the one we removed, if you remember that.
Yep.
That's all this is.
The county home is requesting the board approve hiring Lori Westerfeld to the position of full-time attendant number 1504 to be effective June 5th, 2015 at a rate of $9.39 per hour. After the successful completion of a 180-day probationary period, the rate will increase to $9.89 per hour.
Make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier? Commissioner Claypool?
Aye.
Thank you.
Morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you doing?
Good.
Hi, Joe. Good, buddy. Good, good. Feels like fall.
Still feel fall. How's your back doing?
Not so well.
You look like you were doing pretty good last week and And now, Friday gets hurt again.
Just cleared up pretty bad.
Shipping on the water.
Is that the water bite out?
Is that still from that crash?
They've been doing a lot better.
Okay, we're here for, to get the award for two projects. The first one is the annual application of polyester pavement marking throughout the county. The parent low and the lowest and best was Arrow Mark. They've done work for us in the past. It usually goes back and forth, and the sheriff's Arrow Mark again.
The county engineer's office is requesting the board award the bid to Arrow Mark Incorporated for the application of polyester pavement markings for various roads, Geauga County, for the year 2015 in the amount of $215,215, as they represent the lowest and best bid. The bonds shall be held to serve the performance bond for this project.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Aye. The next one is to replace two structures on Heath Road. All structures necessary that need to be replaced. Easton Leasing was the lowest and best on the job. It came in under at $283,889. So we're here to get your approval to award that to Easton Leasing.
County engineer's office is requesting the board award the bid to Easton Leasing Incorporated for the replacement of the Heath Road Bridges structure number 105-5.02 and 105.520 in the amount of $283,889, as they represent the lowest and best bid. The bid bonds shall be held to serve as the performance bond for this project.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Rob, we talked a couple times about
Okay.
potential how public works money
For Newcomb.
Newcomb. There's a couple of the scenarios I had Shane work through, just for your reference.
Okay.
It's been kind of debated here.
Okay.
We'll do what we can. We can't promise the public works funding, but
Okay.
the potential's definitely there. Need a direction, so we're gonna start talking, so we're gonna talk to the township here soon.
Okay. Do you need me to help you with anything as far as, do you need me to attend any of the meetings there to?
Potentially.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, let us set it up and we'll be in touch.
Yeah, whatever you need, I'm right there with you for sure. I appreciate that. That's great.
Yeah, and I don't know, if you have a handle on potential funding that Middlefield has or whatever, so if you have any suggestions after reading a couple options, give me a call.
Okay, okay.
How's your building coming? I haven't been down there for 2 or 3
Salt
weeks.
or the other
First one, yeah.
Well,
The salt building will be
the
done
one with the
first.
windows
So
in it. The one with the
Salt
window.
building be done first?
Yeah. It is, it's shaping up with the, well, actually, Nick's kind of running that project for us.
We should be getting our carpet put in starting next week. Most of the finishes are up and done, walls are painted, so working on completing the siding. A few more weeks and we'll be in.
Nice.
So,
Nick,
Do you have any updated costs on that, if you can forward to me?
okay.
Do you think you'll be in by the end of the month?
I think we'll begin moving stuff in. We won't be fully in. I don't expect us to be fully in because with the IT and getting everything integrated, the IT department's been helping us, working with us, so we're getting that worked out. So once it's all worked out and all the bugs are out, our plan is to bring people down little by little just to make sure we don't lose operations, and still function the way we need to.
Yeah, we're not pushing out, we just need parking.
You gonna knock down our office and make it a parking lot here?
No. Might knock this one down in the parking lot, or it might get taken down. And the salt building
Oh,
is,
well, the walls, the foundation's in, the walls are up.
oh, I haven't been there for a while then, because it was basically level the last time I was there.
Yeah, we had prepped the site.
Right.
In order to save money, and then we'll be taking care of putting the asphalt floor in it, and then they'll be back to put the structure on the trusses and that.
They have all that already manufactured or fabricated?
It's in process right now, so it's usually a lead time on it from the time we award it, and it works out in the schedule. We're still on schedule with salt storage. So we have they've got time period to stabilize the base, subcompact the base, put the interior drainage in, put the stone bed, and then it gives us about a 2-week window to get the asphalt done, and they'll be right behind to putting the canopy on.
When you get the bid or the prices or whatever on salt?
We received the summer fill-up price. It wasn't very favorable, so we expect the winter ones to be even worse. Winter, we get about, I think it's like 3 weeks out before we get the winter fill-up price. So we'll see how much to save this in the first get-go. I was able to order, was it 4,000 tons on the summer fill-up that I otherwise couldn't have without the storage. So whatever advantage we gain from that would be good, except the prices are up.
It's a commodity, that's what the whole thing's about.
Everybody reduced their usage last year, so I was kind of surprised to see this, but apparently there's not much sitting on the ground right now. At the markets, so this is where we are. Good.
You know, they don't sell a lot, it may come down for the winter price, or may surprise you. I doubt that it will, but it might be.
Right, the bids are only, whatever, 6 weeks apart from each other. We just opened the summer fill-up just a couple of weeks ago, so.
What kind of money? No, if Andrew, you don't want to talk.
No, I can.
That's all right. I'm not putting you on the spot. I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Let me get you that number, because we also sent out informal proposals and for 8,000 tons, and our number that they gave us was better than what the states get, but I don't want to compromise the numbers.
No, I didn't mean to put you on the spot in any way, shape, or form. I didn't know if you had that committed to memory.
There's been too much going on. But it's obviously going to help us out in that we're going to have the 4 plus. We'll have about 8,000 tons sitting in there before the winter starts. So we use between 8 and 10, and then we have about 2,000 right now that townships are committed to using. So that's a normal year. Hopefully we have a normal year. And then the balance that we'll need, we'll just we put in on summer fill, on the winter fill up too.
What does that dome look like? Is it coming down this year?
No.
I mean,
transition
not.
time, what we're doing is,
I didn't mean intentionally coming down.
No, we're hoping to get a couple more years out of it, but at some point we're going to have to tear it down. We're going to leave the barn there, but the dome.
Right.
So we're keeping a close eye on it.
We're hard at. Thank you.
Good seeing you guys. Yep, take care now.
Next week, Joe?
Yeah.
Columbiana?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Joe, you gonna be around the office for a little while?
Yeah.
I've got a conference at 11 o'clock. I'll invite you into it.
Okay.
If you're around.
What subject? Subject?
I'll give you a call when I leave.
Oh, Doug.
Good morning.
Hi, Doug. How are you?
How many days?
33.
All right, okay, but who's counting?
The offices.
I figured.
We've got a resolution on the docket next week to deny your retirement.
Okay.
So have you been spending some time in Arizona?
I have been.
Yeah. How are things?
They're going good.
Yeah.
I just got back this week here. In the 80s, and I planted like 15 rose bushes, 15 cactus, and 100 irises.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's in a rock, and that's on a hillside, so I got a choice of falling off the hill or digging in rock.
So do you have a house there then?
I had it for 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, and the neighbors are like, we looked at this weedy front yard for 20 years, and
okay.
they're already, I mean, the cactus is blooming full flower, and I think it's beautiful. I heard. Yeah.
Wow.
I've been planting for last year now. So.
Very nice.
Yeah, they're taking pictures, they're stopping, and I'm continuing my landscaping from here to there. So.
Did you want to give us the address? So when we're vacationing, we can just,
I'll have a card for you.
Oh, okay.
And I'll give you free Jeep tours and everything.
Oh, wow. You're making it better.
Oh, yeah.
So the winters do you have any winters there or no?
Yeah, when I was there for New Year's, actually, it snowed 5 inches,
oh,
which
wow.
was unusual.
5 inches.
They
wow.
were like under, they froze. They didn't know what to do for but then it melts by noon.
Okay, okay.
But the average precipitation totally in the year is 18 inches in the year.
Okay.
So that was a very rare 5 inches. Usually it just gets a little dusting on the red rocks, and then by 10 o'clock it melts.
Okay.
So you gotta get out there early to see it.
But the temperature then in the wintertime is usually about how much?
Well, the temperature changes 30 degrees every day.
Oh, wow.
So like right now, when it was 85 at night, it dropped down to in the low 60s.
Okay.
And in the winter, it'll be maybe 50s, but it'll drop down, it can go down to 20s at night.
Oh, wow.
So it's always a 30 degree difference in change. So you can heat the house up during the day and cool it off at night, or vice versa.
Huh.
So you don't even need really air conditioning. Because at nighttime it cools down to 60s and that, it's a beautiful breeze in there.
Wow, that's really
Then
neat.
you lock the house up for the sun.
Sounds like you're
It's a
preparing
perfect
for
location.
a career in real estate here, the way you're selling this.
No, my realtor would love me to do that. But I'm gonna go 6 months and do nothing.
What's the water supply there?
Actually, there is underground water, and for some reason Sedona is unbelievable. They have 2 or 3 water systems there. Yeah, and I hate to say it, my water bill's $21 a month, and that's unlimited water using, landscaping like crazy water.
Oh my goodness.
The worst bill it's ever been, $21.
Wow.
I have no
That's
idea.
terrific.
I don't question it, but that meter, I watch that meter and it flies, but.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, wastewater, the entire Sedona has one big system there. But the water, there's a whole bunch of private ones.
Did you go over and check it out, yeah?
I did.
The wastewater?
Yeah, there are a whole bunch of job openings. I keep telling myself, no. They actually have them right now.
Really?
2 engineers, and I
Wow.
can't. I need to enjoy it for a while.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
All right.
Okay, first item on the list here is a change order, say with an engineering firm for $2,000. This Coy Lane lift station was actually designed way back 2002 or so, and then Gus, the former director, he was trying to work a deal with Sugar Falls for a while to try to switch it, because right on the border, we actually have some of their customers, and this pump station takes some of their customers to our Scarsdale treatment plant. So it got put on hold, but now we're reviving this and getting it done. Since then, we found out there's 3-phase electrical out there. So the guys would love that, so that this is the change since the investigation, once they're revising this, to modify so we get a better generator and get the 3-phase out there. So things change in 10 years.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing.
The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve the municipal service contract maintenance form number 1, increasing the contract with Hess and Associates Engineering Incorporated to perform additional engineering for the inclusion of 3-phase electrical service for the Coy Lane lift station replacement in the amount of $2,000.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Aye.
Okay, the second item is to advertise the bid on the Hawksmoor sewer realignment. This is the one I think I mentioned a month ago or so, where the sewer is starting to be exposed because the hillside that it's in is eroding away. And they've tried banking it and stuff over the last couple of years, but it's in bad shape. So they're basically gonna be crossing the road with it and then having 2 lengths of sewer and then cross it back over. So this should resolve it, and it doesn't say it on here, but the estimated cost for that is $79,000.
And that's because Mother Earth won't stay
That's
where it's
correct.
supposed to be or where it was and cover it up?
That's correct. Yeah, it's a very, very poor bank. It's just far from stabilized. They did testing on soils on the opposite side, and the soils will meet their requirements. So they've been trying for maybe 10 years now. I mean, this has been bad. The county engineer's office has been working on the roads there too. So it's a well-known situation there. And we can't risk the chance of that sewer falling apart there.
This is by Canyon Lakes.
Correct. It's across the street, almost like across from our wastewater treatment plant.
Oh, okay.
There's a street right there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Well, actually, at the corner there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been there for maybe 20 years now. The subdivision.
Okay.
The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board grant permission to advertise for bids for the Hawksmoor Way sanitary sewer realignment project to be held on Wednesday, June 24th, 2015 at 2 o'clock p.m. Notice of this bid opening will be advertised on June 5th, 2015, June 12th, 2015 on the county website.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Aye.
Hey Doug, I never really followed up or heard anything. They put that shut off when, remember we had that accident with that one fire hydrant that was struck. Did you guys ever, that's
Yeah.
all finished up and done?
That's correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, we had that temporary, notice to all the
Yeah.
residents that the water could be, yeah.
And everything worked out good there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on, back in service.
Okay, sounds good, thank you.
Sure.
Morning, Jessica.
Morning, Jessica.
Sorry about the marathon on
I
today's.
was gonna say, did you bring a lunch?
Well, you know, I was going to see if anyone wanted me to bring a box lunch. We had a schedule today. So.
We're all seniors up here, well, with the exception of Rowley. We don't qualify.
And Christie.
Wait a minute, Christie.
Oh, maybe Christie, okay, all right. Christie too, sorry.
A few years yet, thanks.
So, the first the first 5 items have to do with revision of job descriptions. So if we look at 14, 15, and 17, those job descriptions are specifically for our adult day service workers, our coordinator, our assistant coordinator, and our aides. And what we did was we took a look at the job description and made sure that it was absolutely accurate as to what each employee does, that the education requirements were exactly what we are looking for, and also the day-to-day requirements of the job, what we lift, push, pull, etc., were completely what they are, reflect what is. We've had workers' comp issues at the department, and we found that sometimes outdated job descriptions do not really reflect what the employee is doing day to day. So to make sure that everyone is safe and everyone is clear on expectations, we revise those jobs. Any questions about the adult day service job descriptions? Okay, there's no changes in pay or grades. Number 16 is a revision of the communication and volunteer specialist job. After reviewing that job description, the administrative task of this job was given to our home delivered meals coordinator, who deals with the majority of our volunteers. So it made sense for her to do the administrative portion. So our current employee, who was in the communication and volunteer specialist role, we took that administrative portion out and beefed up the outside education with the community. So we reallocated what he does. So that will help us when we get a lot of calls saying, I didn't know you offered this, or we get a call saying, have you ever thought of doing a program like this? And in fact, we offer it. So we've identified that as far as awareness of what we offer in the community, we're not doing a good of job. We're not doing as well as we can do, letting people know what we offer. So this will certainly help with that. So we've revised the job and retitled it to reflect its accuracy. Any question about that?
I think we unless there's disagreement, we can do 14 through 17.
You want to do 18 as well?
That's a different thing. It's
The
an
org chart just reflects that title change from communication and volunteer specialist to community outreach and marketing. So it just reflects that title change.
Okay. The Department on Aging is requesting the board approve the revised job description for the position of Adult Day Service Coordinator number 1007 to be effective June 2nd, 2015. The Department on Aging is requesting the board approve the revised job description for the position of Adult Day Service Aide number 1008 to be effective June 2nd, 2015. The Department on Aging is requesting the board approve the change to the job title and revised job description for the position of Community Outreach and Marketing Coordinator number 1027, formerly titled Communication and Volunteer Specialist, to be effective June 2nd, 2015. The Department on Aging is requesting the board approve the revised job description for the position of Assistant Adult Day Service Coordinator number 1030 to be effective June 2nd, 2015. The Department on Aging is requesting the board approve the revised organizational chart to reflect the change of job title for the position of Community Outreach and Marketing Coordinator number 1027 to be effective June 2nd, 2015.
Make those motions.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Aye.
Okay. The next 15 items are all related to the farm market that the Department on Aging does. I believe on Thursday evening, Dave, thank you very much for filling in for Kathy or myself. We had our wires crossed. So that was the federal farm market. So the federal farm market is we get vouchers and we are a distributor, and that is all there is with that.
This is the traditional farm market that the Department on Aging has been doing. There is a change. In the past, it has been referred to as the nutritional farm market. So what the advisory board and my staff did this year, we took a look at the program, and after reviewing 7 years of data, we did not see any evidence that it was providing any long-term nutritional effects on people. So we revised the program to mirror the federal program. So our program will now be income-based and have the exact same federal guidelines. Any questions?
Explain what you just said.
Okay. So the farm market program that the Department on Aging owned was called a nutritional program. The goal of the program was to provide nutritional support in order to change someone's lifestyle over the course of 3 years. So the goal was, by giving you $50 a year for fruits and vegetables, we were going to change the way that you ate after 3 years.
Okay.
We reviewed 7 years of this data. People who were nutritionally at risk were nutritionally at risk year after year after year after year after year. So we found that this $50 a year to change your nutritional status, it didn't impact people in a positive way. Okay? So, you with me?
Yeah.
So we do know, however, we are getting less and less vouchers for people federally, for people of low income. So we do identify that those with low income may have a need for this program, and we are not getting enough federal vouchers to help with this need. So the advisory board sat down and had a discussion regarding the farm market program. And they decided, instead of continuing a nutritional program, which
didn't work.
We cannot support the out. There was
But
no
like the education system we got.
outcome.
Didn't work. Okay.
So there was no positive outcome with the nutritional program. They did want to shift it and follow the federal guidelines. So the same income requirement and the same number of vouchers, which is $50 for the summer, and I believe they are 10 $5 vouchers.
So now you're targeting low income rather than nutritionally deprived people.
Correct, for this program.
Okay, interesting. And so are you going to track, I mean, I'm impressed that you tracked the results and you made an adjustment. I wish we could get you to work with the federal government for the program.
Yeah.
That's impressive that you would do that. I mean, I'm surprised at that, and I'm very impressed.
Well, you know, we do, we have some data for a lot of the programs that we do, and I was fortunate that the farm market program, we had fantastic data on, you know, kudos to Karen Stone and Kathy Petrella for keeping up with that nutrition farm market. And it was great to look at 7 years and really ask the group and say, hey, we see this trend of the same people are getting this voucher year after year after year after year, so that tells me we don't have a positive nutritional impact. It doesn't mean that the program's not important, but what is a better way to do this program? And when you see a higher increase of people who are low-income seniors and a decrease in the amount of vouchers that are coming for low-income persons, it makes sense, if we are going to continue the farm market, to attempt to try this model and see how it goes.
So this is interesting. So instead of giving $50 to people who might be able to may financially not need it, you're just trying to make a dietary change in their case. They're getting a free $50. Great for them, but not good for those who are in actual low income status. So now you're going to be kind of redirecting that to folks who are actually in need, rather than folks that you're just trying to change their habits. Am I reading that right?
That is correct.
Okay.
I will say there is a little bit of an aside. Folks who receive our nutritionally based home delivered meal program, they are getting fresh fruits and vegetables due to their homebound status.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of removed them out of the equation for this voucher portion.
So these things that we're approving here are basically providers into that program. I have one question on one of them, and that is Burton Floral. Do they provide edible flowers, or what's the?
I do hear dandelions are, no, they do have produce. They do have produce.
I'm just checking. I assumed that to be the case.
And what Karen Stone and Kathy Petrella, they really champion this program. And what Karen does is she looks at all of the farmers in the county and sends out a letter to them and let them know we're having this program, and if they're interested in being a provider, they have to return a contract. So we do put it out to the county.
Did you ever look at comparing those two lists to one another? The nutritionally deficient list, and see how many on that list were on the low-income list?
Yes, we have. There is a bit of crossover. There is a bit of crossover.
I would imagine there's going to be some people
Yes.
on both lists, but I don't know if it's a significant amount or number or not, you know.
Yes,
More or less than 50% or something.
There is a crossover. There is a crossover. And I will tell you, with the old model, 212 people received vouchers from the Department on Aging, and 157 got those federal vouchers. So we do have a decrease in the federal vouchers this year. We're guesstimating we're going to probably impact 250 people with this program. That's what we are guesstimating at this point.
What department do those vouchers come through?
I'm sorry. Our vouchers?
Yeah, the federal department that the vouchers do.
Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging.
Oh. That's a federal program, the Western Reserve?
Where are they getting it?
Older Americans Act. They get funding through the Older Americans Act to do the different programs. And they receive the bulk for Northeast Ohio, so they look for distributors in the different counties, so they'll have 500 for Cuyahoga County, and they'll find a distributor to distribute those. So we're just the distributor for Geauga.
Just as a matter of curiosity, do you do anything with the Community Action Services Group? Inc.?
Not at this time. Any questions about the farm market? There is a bit of a change this year, and you know, clearly we'll review this with the advisory board and determine if this was an effective approach.
Very good.
Any questions?
So
okay, I'm going to start reading.
The first question is, can we do this as a copacetic rather than reading 15 individual resolutions to do a blanket
We
statement?
could probably just,
How are you, Bob?
Do the first part and then list all the names.
and then list all the names,
Yeah,
and then we'll just
yeah.
do add together and then vote on it and go from there. Okay. The Department on Aging is requesting the board approve and execute the agreement with John Taylor Burton Floral for the 2015 senior farm market for the period June 1st, 2015 through October 31st, 2015. Or, let's change this again. The Department on Aging is requesting the board approve and execute the agreements for the 2015 senior farm market for the period June 1st, 2015 through October 31st, 2015 for the following: John Taylor Burton Floral, Paul Harris Howard's Apples, J&J Produce, Cernus Farm and Market, Raymond Filer DNS Produce, Barbara A. Foos Blooming Patches Farm, Bart Alcorn MSK Produce Incorporated, Elizabeth Lockemer Riverstone Farm, Stephen Grover Ridgeview Farm, John and Bob Sage from Sage's Apples, Patrick Cousins Maple Crust Farms, Patterson Farms Incorporated, Patterson Fruit Farm, Marvin A. Hirschberger Produce, Jacob J. Kaufman River Valley Produce, and Pritt Family.
I'll make all those motions.
Second?
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Aye.
Okay. And if I may add one thing,
No.
okay, very good.
You had your time.
Very good. No, just so you know, while we send out these vouchers in the mail, so example, we'll send you $50 worth of vouchers. We're not paying for those. What happens is once they give them to the farmer and actually make their purchases, the farmer gives us the vouchers and we pay the farmer directly. So we're not spending money that people aren't using.
Yeah,
That
we're
makes
not
sense.
getting money and using it to go out and buy cigarettes or something.
Correct.
If we don't buy healthy food from one of these vendors, we get nothing.
And we're only reimbursing the farmers for what is redeemed, not necessarily what we send out.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay?
How are the farms determined? Go on this list.
So what Karen Stone does is she locates all the farms in Geauga County, and she sends them a letter that we are going to have a farm market program that will consist of vouchers. And she asks anyone who would like to participate to please fill out a contract and return it to the Department on Aging. So anyone who wants to participate fills out the contract and returns it to us.
Good, thanks.
It looks like it's the Department of Health and Human Services. That's ultimately where the federal money comes from.
We have number 3 now.
If I were to run all of that, and all of its entirety, you would have more time to decide.
Come on up, fellas. How's everybody doing?
Wasn't being on the wrong clock, I guess we're okay.
Actually, if you read it in the News Herald, I think it was yesterday,
Does this still say 10 o'clock?
it said 10 o'clock. I think it was
Oh, how are you?
yesterday.
Good to see you.
Well, I'm not gonna blame it on that. Yeah, ancient history was 10 o'clock.
No. But daylight savings.
Yeah, something like that, how's that?
That would be worse. wouldn't it?
Well, thank you, gentlemen, for having us here. It's an opportunity to explain what we do with the 150 acres you own in Burton and Burton Township. Since there's enough new members, it is 151 acres. Our budget is about $1.3 million, which the majority of that is made in 5 days. We do carry a debt. We carry about $250,000 debt. We also have a rainy day fund that we fund every year to make sure that if we have a bad fair, we're still got money left over to open up next year. We're not gonna, I guess years ago, they got caught and had to borrow some money. to
Is that
open up
right?
the fair. We haven't done that since.
What's it cost to run the fair?
$1 million.
I mean,
There's not, when we're done, there's not much left over. When we're done, we're making the payments on the 2 notes that we have, and about, on an average fair, and I've been there 6 years, it's been about 100, maybe 125 that's left over for capital improvements. And that's what we put back into the 70 buildings that are there, which doesn't go very far when you deal with 70 buildings, and some of them quite old, some of them on the register for historical buildings. And we try to stretch that as much as we can, whatever we can. You know, we're always looking for some sort of money that would be available as far as a grant or a match or something like that. We've been able to use some community development money to get some things paved, upgrade some bathrooms, some things like that. One of the things that we're also on, I guess we're on the fast track now to our 200th anniversary, which will be 2022. So it's only 6 years away, so to speak, not quite 7, because we have deferral our money already this year. One of the things we wanted to do was take the grandstand, built in 53? 51. And
That's the big
grandstand. And not a lot has happened to it other than that front bleachers that were put on about 15 years ago. It still has wood seats up in there. The beams, the ceiling of the beams and stuff like that overhead are peeling and falling off, rusting. So we sat down, we got about $125,000 total cost to go in and put in aluminum seats, and do all the painting that needs to be done, and to do something to the floor surface. It is just painted metal right now. It can get a little slick when it's rained, it's damp, wet. So with all those things we want to do, we try to do it over a 4 or 5 year period. So we had to break it up in pieces this year. Unfortunately, we had to bite off the biggest piece. The painting of the girders and the beams is about $40,000. And that needed to happen before we worry about changing the seats. We need to get it, big up above, cleaned up. See if we can get rid of a few pigeons while we're at it. Yeah. I think that's what kills some of the boards. You go down there and water blast those boards and repaint them or something for the seats, and then by the time you get the bird crap off of them, they're pretty.
You know, I got an idea for you on that. You know, during the auction, you could auction off those pigeons, and you know, I think $500 like share for chickens. You got to be able to get a back on dollar for those pigeons.
Then we got to catch them. We got to catch them or something first.
You know, and the French just love those squabs. So.
I think I could prefer to see if we could find some way to not have them perch up there instead, would be just as well.
When you did the scraping, painting, whatever of the structure up above, do you periodically have the engineers come in and look at that to see that there's no corrosion issues that something? I know this engineer here, I'm talking to him, but I'm not sure he was up in the basket looking at it.
Well, I don't think it's been, I don't know, has it ever been painted?
Up there hasn't. We did have the engineer kind of look at the ground structure when we took the kitchen and stuff out down below, I think 3 years ago, 4 years ago. All those beams down there, we went through and reevaluated, and there was one that needed repaired, and we repaired that one down there today. So, yeah, we've kept it.
I mean, I'm assuming you do, I just...
We've got, the painting company that we've hired is, does this kind of work all the time. They may even drop the catwalk and the press box down, paint that, and then put it back up. So you have a real good chance to look at everything if they do that. They're water blasting everything, so we'll get a chance to take a look at it between scaffolding and the big bucket or boom. Unfortunately, if we put those bleachers in, it makes that boom that much further away, so we can't get up in there.
Sure.
We like it with the boom, it saves some money, but so they can do the outside edge, that front part, the front overhang with the boom, and then the rest will be done with scaffolding over the backside. But that's this year, and then we'll start next year, hopefully with some seats.
Turn that off. There's a switch on the top, just push it back.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's making that weird noises back there.
And actually obviously the anniversary got us thinking about it, but also Kent State got us thinking about it. At one point, they wanted to come over and have graduation. And then they always asked if we could do something with the seats. Well, we looked at that, then they said they couldn't come over. So well, now we've got our interest and peaked. Let's tackle this job and get it done. So we're gonna do it in 5 years. Gives us a year or two in between in case we don't have enough money to keep it going, get it done by 2022. We also found a benefactor who's willing to support us greatly on a new sign up front. A little LED sign, which would be a nice thing. Try to not lose too much of our heritage look, but and it won't be Kent State's. It won't be.
Yeah,
no, it won't be that.
Or the Newberry Fire Department.
No, it's not
Touch out of place.
It's not going to have colors and pictures and stuff. It'll just have letters. It'll be all one color and tell us what's going on. Tell everybody what's going on at the fair. We have not a lot, but enough events during the summer that we can advertise those every time.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's I got past the Burton Village the other night without too much trouble. So the sign's not conforming already. Yeah. So it makes it easy to say we're going to have another non-conforming sign, so we get conditional use for that. We did raise admission price at the gate. Pre-sale is still the same as it was last year. And so when we did that, we decided that we needed to do something that would be new and different, which we try to do anyway. And this year we came across a Walenda.
A what?
A Walenda. High Wire Act. Carl Walenda was the famous High Wire Act. This is his granddaughter.
Really?
She's been doing a little High Wire Act for us fairgrounds. So
They usually use the same wire that they use for the fire.
Yeah.
They're hosing it down.
I'll bet she's got a better wire than that. That's an old rusty cable that no one cares about. But yeah, that'll be our something new this year. We've never had a ground act like this for a high wire adventure. They give us 3 shows a day during the weekend. So I assume that I found out we got 2 ladies and a man. I don't know if they all take turns up on the wire or not, but I thought it was just her, but she's got 2 other people with her. So it's a new act for us, something we've never done before. Plus the name that draws attention. People that remember Carl Willington. I guess Nick is the one that walked across the Niagara Falls. That's the son, so that would be probably uncle to this girl.
I see.
So, That's about all I can think of for good stuff. And
The only thing that I can ask is, I have a couple of emails I could forward to you. There was a number of vets that had sent me emails just after the fair was over, and the one biggest concern they was the parachute flag, and dragging the flag on the floor, you know, with the flag hitting the ground. And I actually had I got a couple of emails that I could forward to you, that they, I guess they complained over to the Veteran Service Commission about it, and they said, you know, we love the act, but can we do something, he said, to try to figure a way for the ground not to hit the floor, hit the dirt. And
you know, we've researched that. We've had that comment before.
Okay.
We researched it, and it all boils down to intent. And there is no intent to disgrace the flag or do anything like that. And I mean, we talk to veterans groups, we talk to people, and you know, every football game, every week, you see a giant flag laying on the ground. I mean, it goes on the ground with veterans holding it or active people. So it all boils down to intent. As long as your intention isn't to do that.
On a side note, though, we do take the precaution because we do tarp the field.
Okay.
So when he comes in with the flag, he lands on a tarp.
Oh, okay.
And then we've got 5 or 6 people stationed right there at that point in time to make sure as he hits the tarp, they scoop the flag up, keep it off the ground there. Now, does it happen? Yeah. I mean, does he miss the tarp, or does he hit the tarp and it come off before they can get it once in a while? Yes.
They can't see the tarp from the grandstands or anyplace else because it's laid in the grass, and so they actually what happens is they open up the target when he's ready to jump, so he can see it from the sky.
I see.
It's folded over. When they unfold it, so he can see the target, but that's also his tarp to land on. Yeah, we did some research. There were a couple of Marines that were not real happy here about 2 years ago, and Paul just charmed them to death.
The military has the Golden Knights, and some of the military branches of the service, their precision skydiving teams will drop down with a flag, and it will.
And that's, I think, where we picked up the tarping idea was from them,
Yeah.
to make sure there was a tarp.
Yeah, I mean,
it guarantee results on something like that.
Clearly, there's no intent to disgrace the flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, we found a couple of on YouTube, Black Knights coming in and not hitting their target either. I mean, so what happens because the wind is really hard.
Right.
So you guys have heard that then before.
And the wind changes it so much. I've learned this between the balloons that we have and the skydiver. At different levels, the wind changes direction and speed by quite a little bit. So he needs to have a good idea of where he's at about 500 feet, because that's when he has to make his last turn to come into land. And so he wants to land into the wind. Well, if he turns and it isn't
Wind
doing
goes the
exactly
other
what he
way.
thought it was doing, unfortunately, we saw him push one night all the way to the north end of the track, which was a little scary because the fence is there. We could see.
Wow.
Yeah, I was really concerned. He hit on the dirt and stopped before he got to the fence. But
The unfortunate part about it is if the spotters grab the flag in a situation like that, they can break his back. So that's where the danger comes in. It is actually a little more serious than just, you know, people say, well, you should just grab it. Well, if you grab it with the force of the shooting and stuff, it is potential to.
Because where is the flag on him? How does he carry the flag?
it's on his feet. It's wrapped around the leg, and he has a big rock.
Oh, really?
That he drops. That pulls to hold the flag straight.
I
That's
see.
a 30 by 50 flag.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. That thing's not light.
It was custom made for the fair.
Matter of fact, by some fair auxiliary or whatever.
Yeah, I would imagine there's some risk to anybody who might want to grab that flag with the, as you said, the velocity of the guy coming down the chute and the rock on the end of the flag and da-da-da-da.
Oh, it's 30 by 50.
Yeah, and that's the problem that it has. It's so large, but it's so impressive at the same time. I mean, when he gets to make a nice pass in front of the grandstand as he comes in, the crowd loves that. We've always had a great response for that. I understand if you're a serviceman, they've been taught quite often it's not supposed to touch the ground, and so they get a little bent out of shape, but that's not, it's the intent, and we're obviously not intending. So
There's two true servicemen here that it doesn't upset.
And to the contrast, it actually makes everybody proud, because you see the flag coming in.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, if the hair doesn't stand up on the back of your neck when that flag comes down, you probably shouldn't be down there anyhow.
I just don't want him to land in the high tension wires and then.
Well, that's what, he's got all the other fairground stuff to stay away from. He's gotta get to that infield, that's the clearest spot for him. And whether we're playing, you know, God Bless America, Lee Greenwood, or the national anthem, either one, or sometimes we had a singer. Try to get a singer to time it.
Yeah.
That's a
Stand
little
there
tough.
a little longer.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's an exact science, that parachute.
You know how long it takes to sing the song, but then you gotta watch him, well, okay, then all of a sudden he drops 20 feet in half a second.
Singing real fast.
I'm losing time here. So we've done, I mean, the veterans that we deal with there, are part of our show from the Legion Post and stuff, and everybody loves it, great thing. And but they send those to us, we'd be glad to answer them.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll send that over.
Yeah. After we had
I think you've got my email.
Yep.
After we had a couple.
I'm happy to talk to them.
Okay.
And when a couple got a little nasty about it, and so we did some digging and found out that we still feel we're in good position.
Okay.
Yeah, if you get a guy in fatigues that's served one duty overseas or something, in the last couple of years, he might not be.
Right.
The veterans on the hill there where they set up by the little stage up there in the corner, did they complain?
No, they've been in full support of it.
Yeah.
They've been in full support. And it's like I'm about to say, we had a couple Marines that just finished the second tour in Iraq and came back, and you know what, they had a right to be upset.
Yep.
What they saw or their perception,
Yeah,
they had a right to vent, and they let them back, that's all. So, they had a right to. Definitely not our intent.
No, it's, like I said, yeah, especially on Sunday before the band and ramp, we do a full-blown veterans salute to all the branches right after the flag drop.
Okay.
And then and we do a flag drop, and then we do a salute to all the veterans, all the branches of veterans, and then we do the national anthem, and then the band and ramp starts. I mean, at that point, you've got, most of the parents of all the band kids.
Yeah, very nice.
They're in the stands and stuff, it's a full crowd, and it's always been a great thing.
Friday remains Veterans Day too, where all veterans are admitted free on Friday all day long, and any active service personnel are admitted free all week.
And we've had, last year we had a band come in from Erie, I think we're gonna have that again this year, that explains veteran services to them. They can talk to them about what services are available to them, and they coordinated, even though it's out of Erie, they coordinate with the Cleveland one and talk about, what kind of things are available for those that are having issues, lingering issues that might be. So try to do that too, as well as just have a veterans display for educational purposes for the younger generation. Also have something for the veterans that might need some help.
Yeah, that's always, you guys always have a real nice display there. It's nice.
Yeah, it's pretty huge. It's growing and growing. It gets bigger all the time.
Well, I think you do a great job at the fair, under some adverse conditions sometimes. I mean, when you mentioned the rainy day fund, it crossed my mind that that's actually an accurate description. Because if it's not a rainy day, the fair does real well. If it's a rainy day, it's like, well, I don't really want to walk around in the mud all day. And
Saturday or Sunday it rains, we can pretty much wipe out the capital improvement budget for the following year.
If it rains on Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday or Sunday. Either one of those 2 days, if we take a rain day on a Saturday or Sunday, you can pretty much plan on no new roads, no paint, no nothing, because it's not capital. Now, you add a Thursday to it or a Friday plus a Saturday or Sunday, well, then we're in trouble. The income's not there to keep everything going.
I see.
We've been able to build that fund. They started that fund at, $20,000 increments, and we've been able to build it. So we can get through it there if we need. We could lose the fair and still get through another fair if we had to. If we hit that kind of weather, and they have hit that kind of weather in the past. So.
Yeah, you're lucky it wasn't last week.
We've been there, Bill.
Yeah. The gate is 45% of our budget. that's why you can't lose very much of that. We'll be talking about $1.3 million if we're picking up 450 to 500 to the gate. That's, we need that badly. And that's why we do give a lot of free stuff away, by free stuff. I mean, we spend $125,000 on entertainment. The only things we charge for are the demolition derbies and the truck pulls. Everything else, the balance of it is all the entertainment that's walking around, whether it's balloons or magicians or acts that are on stages that are more local acts and stuff that perform for an hour or so. Those are all things that we pay for that are no cost. And if nothing else, it gives you a chance to sit down and eat something that you picked up without having to balance it on both hands. And sometimes that's all they do, but you get to listen to something that maybe like with country western or some young kids or whatever.
You should have signed that Willis group that year they were there.
We tried.
We tried. You know, we did find out something, and you can go see them if you want.
Yeah, they're in Branson, aren't they, or someplace?
No. They'll be at Southeast Harley Davidson here next month.
How much do they pay for that?
I don't know what they charge, but what we found out was that little bit they did at the end, that's the climax of their show. The rest of it is basically Celtic.
Is what?
Celtic.
Oh, okay.
It's more of Irish music and dancing and stuff. I mean, the variety they showed at the end, which was very lively and they remixed and stuff, that is apparently their finale. Well, they gave us their best. They're doing that, but we found out that the whole show isn't similar to that.
Isn't that way?
No, and at 15,000, it's a little rich for our blood.
But even that night that they performed, by next morning, their price had gone.
That's what I had heard. I had heard they wanted X thousands of dollars, and then they appeared that night, and it quadrupled or something by the next morning.
Well, they did make.
Now they got a TV show.
Yeah, locally, I think, right? But they were also on America's Got Talent that year, but didn't get past the second round. They got past the first round because they got that finale to do, which is really nice. Well, when it got to the second round, they didn't have anything new to give the judges, and that's so they got kicked off.
In fairness, for people that are listening or don't know, when you go to the fair show, they have groups that come in and audition, and they, at the big dinner, then there's these groups, various acts, country western or whatever, and there's one group called the Willis Clan. There's one family with 12 children, and they aged, I think, between 3 and 21, something like that, and everyone performed on stage, even the 3-year-old. And it was pretty impressive. I mean, they're very, very talented family.
The only stand-up ovations you've seen.
Yeah, that was probably, in all the years I've been here, that was probably the biggest reaction that anybody got, you know. We've seen everybody, you know, on that stage. We've seen Lady Antebellum perform down there. We saw the Swan Brothers, you know. We've seen a lot of acts before they were acts, you know, on that stage. And that's how they get their start. They'll come and perform. And that's, I know, you know, we appreciate you guys coming down there every year, and we always offer that invitation. We gotta get Ralph down there one of these years to see over it up and enjoy it. I mean, you just really, until you experience it,
really
you understand that there's a whole lot more to the fair. You know, people think about the fair, they think 5 days, what's the big deal? That's just not the case. You know, it's big business and it's statewide. You know, that organization is 94 strong, and we had just under 4,000 people that week down in Columbus at the convention center for that program.
I thought I'd be bored out of my mind going down to that, but it was actually very interesting, and I enjoyed the dinner at the end of it all, because you learned a lot of things about people at that dinner.
For one, I'd like to
you guys left one night early too. You should have stayed Saturday night. You learned a lot more. So.
Yeah, we're old. I want to thank you for the invitation. I went down there twice, and I was surprised by the number of people from other counties, fair people from other counties, who approached us, approached me anyway, and commented about how in their counties the commissioners and the fair groups are at odds with one another, and how I can remember being at one of the, I think Dan was there presenting, the sheriff, and some people come over to me from various counties and say, I can't believe the commissioners come down here. I said, why wouldn't you support the fair? You know, it brings in a lot of people in the county.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. You guys have always worked with us. And of course, you know, as part of that lease, you know, you give Jim Patterson those guys credit so many years ago for saying once a year we need to come up and talk to you guys, and just we're all on the same team. So
I think, you know, if you've grown up in this county, you kind of take that fair for granted.
Yeah.
And until you go to that fair convention and you see the fair and you get exposed to really how extraordinary the Geauga County Fair is. We are very, very blessed. I think a lot of people just don't understand
our trash
how
and
much
security bill is in excess of some of those fairs' entire budget.
Yeah.
And, it's a big difference, you know. But you know, we're so fortunate to have you guys, you know, be a part of it. So it makes a big difference. So.
Well, it is a business. I mean, for the all the 11 months of the year besides the weekend of the fair, I mean, it is a business that needs to be run efficiently, maintain those buildings with the best, cheapest way we can, but the most efficient. We've gone to metal roofs now, and all our roofs, and we replaced them 50 years out of them instead of asphalt shingles.
Yeah.
Things like that, we made changes a few years ago on that are starting to pay some dividends to us.
Well, and it's impressive too, because, you know, last year I was campaigning. And so if you're at the fair, you get a sense for how many people come in to the fair from out of the county. It really is a draw. We get a lot of people from Geauga County, Lake County, Ashtabula County, Portage County. There were a lot of surrounding counties. It is really a draw, and it really highlights, it makes our county look really good. And to Blake's point earlier, when I was down there, I can't tell you how many people came up to me and said the collaboration between the Sheriff's Department, the county commissioners, and the Fair Board, and all the various departments really makes this work. And everybody else was saying, how do you guys do it? And it was really, it's really a good thing. So I give you guys kudos. You do a nice job at it.
Can't go without mentioning Dan in this, like you guys have a couple times. You know, Dan's kind of the unofficial, we tagged him the unofficial sheriff of the Ohio Association because he's been down so many times on his time. Comes down and gives presentations on security and stuff and background checks, you know. And, you know, he's just led the charge for us, you know, even background checks, you know. We're at a point where now, you know, our ride operators, it's not mandated by law yet, but we're already ahead of the curve on, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
You know, so to try and make sure it's safe. And, you know, you say background checks and right away people start pulling back, especially in the fair industry and stuff. We've had no issues, you know, with Dan. It's so smooth that he's just done a great job.
Well, we've got a great ride company that wants to do the same thing. They do their own background checks, and apparently we found one a couple years ago, slid through the racks, I don't know what Dan did, but for the most part, they do their own background checks before they even hire people. But they're, 6-7 years they've been with us now, Pace Brothers, and we're really pleased with their capabilities and their ability to work with us and stuff.
And through the police, how many people will you come through the doors?
Through the gates? We have an annual attendance figure of 200,000, 220,000. Now that includes all exhibitors, that includes any kind of passes that go out and stuff. Now is that 200,000 paid? No. Through the gate that came and paid money to get a ticket and come through is in the 70,000 range, you know, that's 75,000. Now that other number includes all the advanced sales and things. Like Bob said, we changed the pricing this year. Thursday's kind of different. We're going to do something kind of special. It's free until noon on Thursday this year. Don't even have to pay. You can come until noon on Thursday free. That's typically a family day. It's a mom day with kids. You know, it's a day that we can get them in there. And then we're going to start charging $5, which is actually a reduced rate for the rest of Thursday. And then the price goes up the next couple days by $1. But the advanced sales stay. You can buy a 5-admission advanced sale pass for $25. That's $5 a crack. That's $3 savings off your gate admission.
If you're planning to go the weekend with your family, you could buy one of those as opposed to $8 at the gate. So
sure.
$25 for 5, and you can use it 5 days. You can use them all at one time. It's a 5-day pass, but you can punch them out. 5 adults can go through on one ticket.
Yeah, basically a 5-admission ticket. So that big number includes all that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and when we get a fair amount of pre-sale, particularly on Saturday, because they want to buy Derby tickets. So we'll buy Derby tickets and admission to the fair at the same time. And we've tried a couple times to promote Thursday. Thursday's a little tougher. It's still some some schools, and this guy, they're still in school, they may or may not take Friday off. Some do, some don't. I don't think anybody takes Thursday, other than even Burton.
Well, they had to last year, or year before, was it last year or year before they had to go in? I think this year they'll be in because the fair's so late. Labor Day's 3rd, September 3rd through the 7th this year, so they'll be back in, everybody will be back in.
Yeah.
What are the dates of the fair?
September 3rd through the 7th. Labor Day's as late as they can be this year.
Usually Berkshire never went back until after the fair.
Right. Berkshire's always been the one that'll hold to it and stay out, you know, prior to the.
But
Well, they all still have a
even
football.
they started to go back earlier.
And they all still have a football game on Friday night. Most of it's a second game. They usually have one before that, so.
I see.
Particularly with this being in September, yeah, it'll be at least their second game, so.
Wow.
Makes Friday night a tough night also. That's why we provide a nice free entertainment that's a good quality act. Trying to take care of the kids that are there. They don't feel like they have to go see the football team, make sure they're animals. We do it down in the small grandstand close to where the kids are and their animals. So it's try to do a little bit of something for everybody.
Yeah, nice.
Poking for the old people on Friday morning and rock and roll.
For what time is that? I wanted to tell Blake about it.
We're starting to talk about older people, not old people, just
What do you
older.
have to do to get tents that don't leak?
Yeah.
Bring your own.
Just a little bit ago. Yeah, it always leaks.
That's part of the romanticism of the fair.
You need to make it not rain.
Can we pass a resolution on that?
You make it not rain.
We'll say a prayer for that weekend.
No rain, no mud, that's
We do work with the Audi and the tent company to try and remind them once in a while we get a tent that doesn't look like it's up to spar. And, I mean, it's kind of the only game in town, so you gotta convince them that they need to bring out some of their better stuff once in a while. And they're doing several fairs and stuff that same weekend, so. Because Stark and Geauga, or not Geauga, Stark and Mahoney are the same weekend.
Okay.
So.
You get the biggest fair in the state of Ohio and the oldest fair in the state of Ohio are on the same weekend.
Because the big,
Mahoney's the largest fair.
Okay.
And we're the oldest fair.
Is that that's Canfield?
Canfield.
Canfield Fair. I mean, that's the name they normally refer to it with.
Well, it's the same as ours used to be called the Burton Fair quite often. We've kind of pushed away from that with the great Geauga County Fair out front on the sign and stuff. See, we got rid of the Burton Fair idea a little bit. Make sure they know it's like a county fair.
The Great Mahoney County is.
No, that doesn't work.
No,
that doesn't work.
Canfield's better name.
Yeah, thanks for letting the 4-H archery guys too put their building up. I think they said that maybe they're about 2 weeks out to put the.
Yeah, it sounds like I saw the plan the other day. They're all set to go with the holes. I think Greg, our maintenance guys, are gonna help him dig the holes down there for that.
Okay, yeah, thanks for getting
Yeah.
that through.
What was it?
The natural resources.
Natural resources.
Yeah, I know. That's they
Especially
said.
since they decided to go to a pole building, we need to get away from the power lines.
Yeah.
It's a new addition in the natural resource building for the coyotes, I believe,
Yeah,
for the younger kids to do some target practice and stuff with both of them. So.
Yeah.
So, and you know, we're fortunate to have the natural resource area. You know, we're a fair and a fair. A lot of fairs don't have that to offer, let alone the rest of the offer.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Which I mean, with that, you know, you got to give credit to Jay on that. You know, that's just hard to go to the fair and not think about him. You know.
Yeah, it was a vision he had, and it came.
Yeah.
True, so.
Yeah.
And he had a couple more visions. Unfortunately, I don't know if anybody to carry him on. I mean, he had come to us maybe a year or so before he passed and talked about what he wanted to do with the area to the south there between the roadway and the Legion Hall there. And he had some good ideas, some that I thought were very doable and would be nice, an amphitheater type thing down there. But without his driving force, I don't know how it's going to happen. No one stepped up so far to show that they want to take that.
No, and it's unfortunate. I mean, I know that he got a lot of stuff done, and we miss him dearly. I know it's tough, you know, to go down there and see the rock there with his plaque, and yeah.
Yeah, it's, I mean, we're glad we got it. Too bad he's going.
Yeah.
He was a hell of an asset to the fair. Help get that done and stuff, and make something different.
Side note, we lost an asset last week too. Our assistant treasurer passed away last week.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
That's a big hole right now. gotta scramble pretty hard here to take care of that, so. We lose somebody that's only 50 years old, and such a big part of the fair, it's and we're 90 days out, so we gotta move pretty quick to try and get that, so.
And we've had several people, reach just old enough that they decided they didn't want to work anymore in the fair office for 5 days. And so, besides having her talents in the buildings, we've lost some other people just through retirement and stuff. So we need to replenish and revitalize that area. It's hard to do sometimes to find somebody who's willing to work 5 days.
In a trailer like that with all that activity going on outside?
Once you're in the trailer, you don't notice that activity outside. But the money comes in, and tickets go out and things like that. You do have to account for what you're doing and stuff and get the stuff deposited every night and things like that. But Diane does a great job, Diane Kellogg, but she needs some help. We're going to have to do some looking for that. She can't do it all by herself.
And usually at that fair, I have some other obligation or something to do, but I did take an opportunity a couple of years ago to go down to the natural resources area when they had water dogs, retrievers, whatever, and that's as funny as any stage act you got going, because some of the dogs are pretty well trained and disciplined, and they go in and get the decoy or whatever they call it that they throw out there, and they return and fetch it and bring it back, and other dogs just kind of have breaking their attention span and go out and get the dog and go somewhere else or run by and shake off it next to all of the people watching.
That's one of the things that is really hidden, that we do need to clean both the ponds. There's an upper pond that takes the stuff off the track and stuff, and it's really pretty full of silt. We got some out last year, but then it's pretty shallow in a lot of areas in that natural resources pond, so we need to. We're going to drain it down a couple of feet here and make some changes. We got a new pump for the waterfall at the north end there, a submersible pump, which is better than what we have. It turned out we found out we had one in storage that we didn't know we had. We saved $5,000 there. But we also, the little area where the kids fish in the fenced-in area, and there's some silt in there that we need to clean up and get that a little deeper so it works better. So try to get those couple things done here in the next few weeks. But we do need to clean both ponds in the next year or two. It's always a challenge to get those things drained out and then try to get them mucked out before it rains again, because they collect about half of the 150 acres comes back through those two ponds.
Ah, okay.
So it doesn't take long. If you get it right rain, it doesn't take long to fill them up.
On one side, you've got that boardwalk or the walkway and developed, and it's hard to get one of those long boom excavators in there.
That's the problem.
Over the top. The other side is not.
Yeah.
Well, it's if we get it drained out, we can. It's not that we can get a dozer, a small dozer, to push it down to the end and pick it up.
Dry enough, yeah.
Get it dry enough. But that's a challenge too.
Part of the problem with the Coyote building, getting a location on it, because we're out of lot space going around the circle there, so.
Yeah.
Lakefront properties, really.
That's right. It's a premium.
Well, thanks, guys. We appreciate it. We look forward to it. Let us know
Thank
if
you.
there's anything we can do to help.
Here's your,
Thanks.
oops, what's your date? Oh, that's Ralph.
Thank you.
Fairbook?
Pass. Commission, and obviously, you're welcome to have your meeting on Thursday morning, if that's what you want to do at the fair.
Now there's free admission there, there'll be thousands of people
Absolutely.
wanting to come.
Just have them warm up the donuts.
There's
Good idea.
there's plenty there. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
good
you.
seeing everybody. Thank you.
Thanks for all the work you guys do.
We got another agenda item, honey. There's nothing on the agenda, but it has to do with the Geauga County Community Action Services Group Incorporated. We're going to meet Thursday. Sadika White out of the state has asked that we get all three commissioners to agree to support this effort. And so that's what the resolution is. We get a letter going down to the state to say we want to do this, and everybody's in support of doing it.
I gave them each copy.
Okay, good. And so that's what this next agenda item is to, in support of that effort, so. And we talked about it a little bit. Are there any questions on it?
Commissioner's office is requesting the board approve and execute a letter to the Sadika White Community Services Division Chief for the Ohio Development Services Agency
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Aye.
Oh, two of them here.
No problem. All right.
Okay, upcoming meetings, the 9th, we're gonna have a regular session, the 9th, also a planning commission at 7 o'clock, the 12th, Board of Directors meeting for Nowaka, the 15th, Family First Council, the 16th, Commissioners going regular session, the 19th, Nowaka's gonna have air quality, transportation, water quality, the 22nd, Board of Revision meeting, the 23rd, Commissioners session, 25th, Commissioners session, Board of Revision, on the 29th, and on the 30th, Commissioners going regular session.